Uh-oh. What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Wake up with me. It's your man, Tresvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is a beautiful, beautiful Monday morning. I hope you all got your extra hour. However you spent your extra hour, I hope it was wonderful for you. Um, because I had a good time. I definitely had a good time. I also I love y'all. I love y'all because let me tell you, for one of the very few times I actually took a nap yesterday, and I don't need much sleep. I don't need much sleep. I mean, it's catching up to me now, but my nap winded up being me sleeping for 4 hours. So I was up. It was like 2 a.m. So for me to be up and here now at 6, yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all. First and foremost, let me get that out the way. And, you know, discipline and everything. But I love y'all for me to be I had to fight to get up this morning. But it's all good. Here we are. Still got things to do. And I just love being here anyway. So y'all can get the sleepy time voice. It's still dark over here. It's still dark over here, even though it was just daylight savings time, fall back. But yes, let's go ahead and get into this Mindset Monday, okay? Mindset Monday today, I'm gonna give y'all, for one, I learned how important reading was, and the reason why we started to shun away from it. We was running away from running. At least I was running away from reading, um, because of the mandatory curriculum in the school system. I didn't like reading, or didn't find interest in reading what I had to read. So I associated that disinterest, that dislike, with reading in totality. Actually love reading. I just need to read things that interest me. That's a bar. Make sure you catch that. Um, so once I started finding self development reading on my self development journey, like, this is not going to help the person that's not trying to intentionally develop themselves into a better person, right? Um, but on my self development journey, when I started coming across I found these self development books. It was perfect, and I learned more and more of the type of reading that I like. I need a story. I eat up a story. I love a story. Okay. Don't just give me, I'm not a all stats and facts person. Like, you can just give it to me straight. If I'm gonna read it, I want it to build up. I want anticipation. I want a climax. I want all of the I want the roller coaster. I want a story. I want a story that comes with the message. I want the allegories. I want everything. Okay. So within my self development journey, I found a list of books that I just keep coming back to. So here is my list of self development books for your mindset that I recommend that I read annually. And I ran out of time, so I don't have all of my physical copies right here. That's another thing I learned. I love a hardcover book If not hardcover, then I'll take a paperback before I go digital. Like ebooks are awesome for convenience, but it's rare that I choose an ebook, and I got plenty of them. It's rare that I choose an ebook, choose to read an ebook, and like sit there and read it because I ain't looking at that screen that whole time. And if you don't change the settings, you got to keep on making sure that it don't go off. It keeps shading off. Man, I ain't reading the ebook the whole time. Um, so I prefer hardcover books and then paperback, then audio, then ebook. So all of these books I have or had somewhere in my mess of books over there. Uh, I have or had within my possession, and I have the main one, and I guess that's the one I'm gonna start off with. Y'all heard me speak of this book before. My last guest, shout out my last guest, Mr. Michael Looney. He shouted out this book when I asked him any recommendations he might have. Another guest of mine, Dr. Rob, Doc Rob, Dr. Robert Utley, he shouted out this book, right? This is also a book that if you were to do coaching with me, this is part of my curriculum. You have to read this book to put yourself in the right mind frame in order to do the work that is necessary that we're about to do. It's that important. Shout out to my brother Jose, because he the one who he's the articulate gangster. He's the one who put me onto this book. And how did he put me onto this book? He told me Gucci Mane, one of my favorite artists, read this book when he was in prison, changed his mind, got sober, all of that stuff. You know, he made the change so much that they thought that he was a clone, you know. But it's all about your mind. It's all about your mindset. So, okay, yes, I did. What's up, everybody? If you're over at Instagram, come over to YouTube, get your comments posted. If you're over on Facebook, what's up? Good morning. Come over to the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, get your comments posted. I got this. Let me see if I can try it out. Oh man, we trying different things over here. That's right. All right. So trying stuff. That book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. What's so great about this book, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time here. What's so great about this book is it's only about 38, let's say about 40 pages. Yeah, not even 40. It's less than 40 pages. And, like it's 2-page chapters, like real simple, real easy, real easy to read. Couldn't real read. Real easy to read. We're going to the dentist. I got my it's weird, man, how like a centimeter difference makes that much of a difference on anyway. So real easy to read, real easy to understand. It's more straight to the point, but it has, telltale wisdom. It has the stories. It has the it makes the connections. Like it'll tell you straightforward, this is what it is, and then it'll give you an example in a beautiful way. And I loved it. I ate it up. I picked it apart real quick. I think I did. Yes, I did a book review. I did a reading review. Check out the reading review playlist because I did a reading review on this book. Um, and you can get it off like Amazon or eBay for like $2 to $5. Like it's inexpensive, a easy, quick investment. You could read it in a day. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. That book literally like encapsulates in less than 40 pages, encapsulates how the mind works, how the mind works, and the importance of building and developing your mindset. I mean, it is perfect to me. And that's what you need to start off with. That's my number one. I read this book. I think I've read this book 5 times this year. I read this book more than once. Anytime I go to recommend it, I'm like, let me go ahead and read it. It's just like that, man. That's the only one I got in my possession right now for this morning. The next book, mm, I don't get text at this time. Okay. The next book on my annual reading list, okay, is The Alchemist. I know I have that book over there on my shelf somewhere. Let's do the the next book is The Alchemist. The Alchemist was a beautiful story. Turn these texts off. The next book was The Alchemist. The Alchemist, I must read every year. It's a beautiful story about a man in the desert, having to bet on himself, having to, well, he wasn't just in the desert. It's about a boy to man story where he was traveling, in search of a certain thing, a certain goal, a certain aspiration, right? And it's one of those that shows that, hey, even though, y'all know, I tell y'all that you have plans towards achieving a goal, but the goal is the final destination. The plan is the route. Routes change, plans change, and sometimes what you think is the goal oftentimes what you believe is the goal expands or narrows. It doesn't change, it just becomes more definite, right? And when it becomes more definite, you'll realize that what you was aiming for in the beginning is either too small, too far off, or whatnot. But you develop yourself along this journey. And it's a beautiful story. And come the end of it, I was just like, wow. And um I actually digested the audiobook version of this. The authentic audio version of this has like sound effects and all that stuff. And I was just taken back. I think the audiobook was like 5 hours, 5 to 7 hours, which is not long for a book, a audiobook, regular audiobook is about 9 hours. This one was about 7, 5 to 7, and I just was absorbed in this story, man. Every time I kept on thinking like, "Yo, he's losing," or you know, "Who is this person?" Y'all got to get the book. Y'all got to get the book. It shows that what you're aiming for might not be exactly what you're aiming for. Um, it explain it expresses it expresses sacrifice, like in a healthy sense. I don't know why I'm getting all these texts this morning throwing me off. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I know I'm messing up my list with The Alchemist, but The Alchemist is up there on my list because when you decide to get on this self-development journey and become intentional about improving yourself, you will come across everything in this book. You will come across it. And when you come across certain obstacles, them inward obstacles, where you got to make a decision or you looking for clarity, and you got some confusion and maybe some doubt, all of those, them inward obstacles, need to talk about those. When you come across those inward obstacles on this self-development journey, as you will, then you need something to reference. This is a great book to reference towards those. Okay. Next book on my list. Good morning, all. Good morning. Much love to everybody. Mm, let's see. The next book on my list. The Four Agreements, man. The Four Agreements. What usually happens with me, because I'm doing annual review right now. What usually happens with me is I'll set the plan, right, for the year, set the plan, set the intention for the year. I go into the year with full force, full intention, working. And what happens is I get some type of progress, but then I just get stuck on the work. I just start focusing on the work and forget what I'm actually working towards, or at least, put it to the wayside. And then, once I lift my head up to do a review, I'm like exhausted. What did I do? What did I actually do? Did I accomplish? That's what the review is for. Um, but I'll get so steadfast focused on just working that I can neglect myself. It's a form of self-sabotage. Working is not a bad thing, but the mindset that I can't do nothing but work, I can't do anything else but work, is self-sabotage. That's not life, because you're working towards something. And plus you got work in other areas to do. You got mind, body, and spirit that makes a person whole. So yes, you need your paper. Yes, you need your finances, right? That's an area. You also need to be doing something for your physical health. And if you're only working, sometimes depriving yourself, you ain't take no time off, no day off to rest. Yeah, I just heard about it on two Mindset Mondays ago. I was telling y'all I just worked 21 days straight, every day, holiday, day off, all of it. I worked 21 days straight and wondered why. Here we had this annual review. Here we are where I'm tired. I almost didn't get up this morning. I didn't get up last morning. Did a whole lot, but I almost didn't get up this morning. Mm. So the four agreements is on that list because when I do start to feel out of it, right? When I do start to feel like when I do get in that in that mode of self-neglect, self-sabotage, I go to this book, excuse me. And this book is one that gives you a recipe for peace, a peaceful life. Not an easy life, but a peaceful life, right? Let's see. I got it in here. I got it in here. I'll go ahead and sum it up. And matter of fact, I did a live on this book too, I think in February. But the four agreements, this is the recipe for peace. Be real quick, real brief with this because I got some more books to give y'all. And forgive my voice. Like I said, I'm just waking up. The four agreements. The first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Speak things into existence and how you speak to yourself. I'm actually going to sneak in another book that I just found while looking for other books on my shelf. Since we're talking about being impeccable with your word, this book I highly recommend. Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It by Shad Helmstetter. This book is another one that's like this, not quite as small, but it's a 60-minute book, he calls it. What to say when you talk to yourself. We talk to ourselves more than any person. Thinking is talking to ourselves. Okay? We talk to ourselves more than any other person. Make sure that you're telling yourself something good. Make sure you're telling yourself something good. So I'm gonna insert that because this is another one of those must reads, but I forgot about it. You know, when we came across depressive moments, that was one of the books that helped out, you know, got us about that mindset. Like, yo, why am I telling myself these things? Why am I allowing, these things to hold so much weight? Had to talk to myself, had to rewire that programming. Okay. Get that book. But the four agreements, the first agreement is be impeccable with your word, what you say to yourself and what you say to others. Okay. Speak with integrity, only say what you mean. Even when we be joking, we joke about ourselves like my fat ass. All right. You say it enough times, you actually believe you're fat. And you say, "Oh, you stupid, you stupid." It's a joke. Oh, that stupid, right? Stupid. After a while, it's still gonna hold. Man, the man is the victim to the monster of repetition. It's still gonna hold power. Even if you're just joking. So that's the first agreement: is be impeccable with your word. The second agreement is don't take anything personally. That one I barely got past because I use this you know, as a guide, as an actual guide to a peaceful life. Don't take anything personally. That's agreement number two. Nothing others do is because of you. It is a reflection of their own reality. When you are unaffected by the opinions and actions of others, you will be free from pointless suffering. Hello? You will be free. This is freeing your mind when you don't take anything personally. I see so many people, like management. You are in a position to help people, but you choosing who you help based off of what you think or assume. I had so many people that be like, that don't even know me. They'll be like, "Yeah, I know you think I'm stupid. You think I'm Well, I don't even know you, sir or ma'am. How could I have thought of you? You using me to project how you feel about yourself, right? You done took something personally that I didn't even give. You just inserted me as the one to give it to you, okay? But yes, then you don't take anything personally. It's the second agreement. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. Exactly what I just said. Like, it's usually hand in hand. If you making assumptions, you're also taking things personally. Childish, but there's a book I read recently when she said, "Don't make assumptions. When you assume, you make a ass out of you and me." ASSUME. Don't make assumptions. Oh man, let's see what it says. Have the courage to ask questions and express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as possible to avoid misunderstanding, sadness, and drama. This alone could change your life. And what we say here, can't have community without communication. All of this confusion, even when people come yell at me, I'm like, oh, it must have been a misunderstanding. That's all it was. I can attempt to clarify. Or I could just let you have it. You done already took personally what you assume. And standing on business, you being impeccable with your word. You're already in the first three. So I'm gonna let you have it. The last one. The last one is always do your best. That's the fourth agreement. It's always do your best. Your best is going to change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy and sick. In all situations, simply do your best, and you will avoid self judgment, self abuse, and regret. That's where this stuff comes from. I know personally, if I don't give 100, I regret it. I start to like, I could have did better. Why didn't I do better? I'm not better. It's like a shoo, downward spiral, man. And those four together, and of course, that book is wrapped up in great stories. Those four together is a recipe of peace. The four agreements, highly, highly recommend. It's on my annual read list because I be needing that to free my mind. I be needing that just to get back in tune with me after working so much that I lose sight of what I'm working for. This book helps center and ground me, you know, like, okay, you know what? Because after you've taken on enough opinion, irritation, and all of that from others, you start to get into this realm where you take things personally, you start to make assumptions, you start to reel back what your best is. You don't always want to give your best, at least not in certain areas, work. Uh, you stop talking. You're supposed to be impeccable with your word, but you stop talking, stop attempting to communicate, all of that stuff, man. All of that stuff starts to happen. So that is another book on my annual reading list. The next book was man, I'm telling you, every one of these books came right in the clutch, right when I needed them. The next book on my annual reading list, I know it's over there in that mess of books over there. One of my areas I gotta organize. The next book is The Go Giver. Everybody talks about the go getter. I'm gonna go get it. Just go get it. But this book is called The Go Giver. In a world that takes, it's hard being a generous person. Mm. In a world that takes, it's hard being a generous person. Does that mean that you have to be a thief? Does that mean you have to become a taker? You got to stop giving? A lot of people do. You see people get older and they get a little bitter or a lot bitter, and then they get set in their ways. This why I don't do for people. This why I don't give to people. This why I don't talk to people. You can't trust nobody. And it's like, okay, dang, you ain't supposed to get like that. God said, love thy neighbor, love your brother, love your wife, love your husband, love your spouse, love. But we get set in, one of the actions of love is giving, doing, giving and doing. Right? And I had got to a point where I was like, yo, like, I'm a giver. And I do believe that everything you give will compound and be given back to you triple fold. That's how God works, okay? And I know this. I also understand that what you give to someone else whatever you get back may not come from that person, but it must come back. So have an open heart, be willing to give, be willing to help. Don't worry about how it's going to come back and just know that it will. And another free of life thing, another peaceful life module, if you will. So, me knowing that, I just have that instilled in me. I'm a generous person. I got it from my mother, my grandmother. I watch these women give their homes to people. Okay. It ain't nothing for me to give. But I did get, especially as an adult, I did come to a point where I was like, yo, what am I giving so much for? I started focusing on the right here, right now. What am I giving so much for? I'm not getting anything in return. What am I working so hard at this job for? I'm not getting no raise. I'm not getting no promotion. I even went for it and they turned me down several times. What am I working so hard for? Right? I'm not getting paid as much. What am I doing so much for? What am I giving so much for? You start to get less and less appreciation, right? But this book really came in the clutch for me. Let me stay on point here because I got at least two more books to give y'all. This book really came in the clutch for me, and I read it every year because as an entrepreneur, when you start, man, that is it's crazy in the beginning. It's crazy in the beginning, and I can't tell you that it balances out. Entrepreneurism isn't for everybody. I encourage it, and everybody can develop their mindset for it, but it isn't for everybody. Now, let's go with Shine. When I started with Shine, I got immediate support, and like 2 weeks later, it completely died out. Like I was like, yo, the way that this joint going, and I invest everything back in. The way that it's going, you know, it's up and up from here. Nah, man, flatlined, flatlined. While I'm trying to develop things, I stopped getting responses, stopped getting sales, stopped getting new people, new customers, all of this stuff, and like I'm asking questions, I ain't getting no response. Like, what is the issue? Let's fix the issue. Um, but not only that, I created like groups. I want to give. I know in business what I truly believe, especially when you're starting out, gotta give so that people understand the value. Once they understand the value, then they'll be willing to pay. This is why I like samples. This is why I like raffles and playful things like that. It's why I don't mind giving. If you buy if you buy 4 if you buy 4 from me, I'll give you 1 free. If you whatever, "Oh, I really like this scent, but I only got enough for these 2. Here you go." You know, I'm really like that. And I started giving to the point where it was expected. And once things become expected, I'm like, "Nah, I can't." Once things become expected, I was like, "Mm-mm, I wanna stop giving." But giving, as I explained, is in my nature. So I came across this book, and I actually came across this book a little sooner than when I started Shine. But when I came across this book, I loved the story to the point where I didn't feel like it was a story. I just thought I was reading somebody's life, right? And uh, it shows that it's okay to give. It's okay to be actually, you giving more sets you up to receive more. And one of the biggest things that I learned, I went live on this book, on this concept. You ever heard the phrase, "It's better to give than to receive"? That is a falsehood, because just like anything else that's a balance, giving and receiving is a balance. If nobody was open to receiving, there would be nobody to give to. This is why chivalry is dead, because it's an act of giving, right? Let me do this for you. And you got all the independent mentality where it's like, I could do it by myself. Yes, you can. Therefore, I have no part in this play, right? So it really zeroed in on that for me, because not only am I to give, I am to receive. Because I was one where somebody would want to, like, I would pull over and change your flat tire, right? I'm that type of person. I'm that person. I would pull over, change your flat tire. I must do something for you. Let me help you. If your car broke down, I'll push it off of the road for you, right? I done got somebody a tow before, whatever. Any situation I've been in and I've felt, if you in that situation, I don't mind helping if I can. I'm blessed enough to be able to assist you, then I should assist you. That's me. That's the God in me. So I give. I give relentlessly. But then I started feeling affected by me giving so much and not seeming to receive so much. This book made me step back and realize, yo, like, look at where you are. Look at what you have. Look at what you're capable of doing. If I'm capable of helping, look at the fact that you're capable of helping. Like, you wasn't in this position. You was just the one who needed help. So you're being the one who can now help. You're in a different position. That's a blessing. You have more to give. You've received more. Be thankful. Be grateful of that. For one thing. And another thing that really helped me out was learning that balance, because I'm this person too. Somebody wants to do for you and you like, "Oh, I'm good. No, I thank you. I appreciate it." Somebody want to give you a few dollars. I ain't asked for that. I ain't asked for that. But this was their immediate way of showing their appreciation to you. You're cutting off the cycle. It's a balance. Give and receive. So when you tell somebody no thank you when they trying to give to you, man, you're now not receiving. You're cutting off that cycle. You're shortening that side. So yeah, if you get upset like I did, man, I'm not receiving as much as I'm giving. You're not accepting it. No, you're not accepting it. There are moments where you were to receive and you turned it down out of goodwill, out of good heart. If you just help somebody, go back to the tire scenario. If you just help somebody change their flat tire, more than likely they didn't have the means to do it themselves. So if somebody, wants to give you, here's $20, it might be all that they got to give. So in my mind, here we going back to the last book. I'm assuming you don't have much to give. That's not always the case. So I could have accepted this $20. That could have went a long way for me, in whatever fashion. You just trying to look out for me, you know what I'm saying? Because I looked out for you. And that's good. We should do that. We should want to do that. And it should be accepted versus I guess it's common courtesy where it's like somebody tries to do for you, like, I'm good, I'm good. I don't need payment. I don't need repayment. You don't have to do anything for me. It's not a favor for a favor, an eye for an eye. I literally just wanted to help you. The act of helping you and the mission is accomplished. I'm already full, right? But don't deny someone the opportunity to give as well. That's the go giver. Whew. Love that book. That book really opened my mentality and changed my mindset. The next book, and I think I'll leave it at that. This will be 5 books. The next book on my annual reading list is The Greatest Salesman on Earth. The Greatest Salesman on Earth by Og Mandino. Let me tell you, it's a small book, and I'm telling you, I love a story. I love a step-by-step tutorial. I love these types of books. This book brought a tear to my eye at the end. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. You realize, and this what helped me with business too, because I really had to reconstruct my mentality towards money and the salesman. I used to think the salesman was a con man. I used to think that only the rich, only the evil get rich, right? You have to step on people's backs and necks in order to climb up. You don't, right? And the ones that do, they get their time. Look at Diddy, Um, just an example. All of them. Uh, I used to think that poverty was for the pure because a lot of people in poverty, didn't choose to be there. And it's expensive being poor. Well, poor is a mentality. It's expensive being broken in poverty, but poor is a mentality. And that last book and this book, as I developed myself financially, you realize that it's more of a spiritual journey when it comes to finances. I'm actually a great salesman myself. I just don't like hustling people. I don't like swindling. I don't want to persuade you into a sale that will not bring you any value just so that I can get some monetary gain. That is not me. In this book, The Greatest Salesman on Earth by Og Mandino, like establishes morality for a businessman, a salesman. Like it establishes morality for the person who wants to make money but don't want to become evil in the pursuit of money. Mm. And the story is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so good. Like I'm about to read it today. I'm about to read it today. I believe there was and it's back in the day. So there are scrolls. There are 9 scrolls, I believe it is. 9 or 10 scrolls. I think it's 9. Uh that are like the step by step. Like you don't get to the next scroll until you put in some time with the first one, before you go on to the next one, try this. Before you get on to the next one, try this. And it's beautiful because like every one prepares you for the next. Excuse me. And I can't express how much I love that book. That book brought me to tears come the end. Uh I was like, yo, I was all the way encapsulated in this story from the beginning to the end. Like I was like, who is this person? Like it's you got some mystery here, you got some suspense here on the edge of your seat, and then it got the messages, it got the story, you get everything with this one, man. And I'm telling you, it's called The Greatest Salesman on Earth, but it's a spiritual development book. And it makes selling easy. And what you'll learn is that everything is sales. Everything in life can be negotiated, even if it's in a document, even if it's on a contract, even if, even if you shook on it, everything in life could be negotiated. When I read this and another book is not on my annual list of reading, but the other book is Never Split the Difference. When I read those 2 books, that's a book solely about negotiation. Um, but when I read those 2 books, The Greatest Salesman on Earth and Never Split the Difference, I put it into play. I put it into practice. I don't read a book just to get the feel. I got to get the result. So when I read that book, I was like, okay, let's try it out. Right. And got the results. Like I got new amenities in an apartment that they kind of like was done with. I got uh, raises. I got this multiple. I got sales. I got entrepreneurial experience. Right. I closed some contracts. I closed some deals. I got sales that weren't sales. I got a whole lot. I even like I ain't gonna tell y'all the power of the book. I'm gonna tell you go get the book. Because in the healthy manner, I got people to like I convince people towards like developing mindset. And these were people that I have grown up with, I've been around, and it's like, they always gonna be this way. They're never like, somebody who you like, they'll never pick up a book. Oh my God, they reading now. The power of negotiation and learning sales. Everything in life is sales and can be negotiated. Everything, not just monetary, but everything. Right? So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna cap it off at that. To say the books that I read annually, As a Man Thinketh, is the main one in my possession. It has different covers. And I actually did a read and review. Look at the playlist, read and review. As a Man Thinketh is in there, and I will be updating those. Um, As a Man Thinketh to get your mind right. The Alchemist, as you set off on this self development journey, helps you stay on that self development journey. It's a beautiful story. I highly recommend. The Four Agreements. The Four Agreements. Another one is a beautiful story and promotes peace of life, ease of mind, free your mind by putting into practice the Four Agreements. The next book is The Go Giver. It's okay to give. The more you give, the more you will receive, but you have to be open to receiving in order for that giving to happen. Keep on giving, keep on receiving. Life will become more fruitful. Okay. And the last book is The Greatest Salesman on Earth. I have more, but these are definite must reads that I read annually. I read each one of these books at least once a year. Okay. The Greatest Salesman on Earth gives you telltale wisdom about it's more of a spiritual development book than a financially developing book. And when you'll realize that your financial growth is a result of your self development, keep working on yourself. And I see the connection. The more I work on myself, the more money I make. But the less of an effect it has. Like we put so much strain and so much stress on just making money for whatever reasons, you know, for whatever reasons. But it's not about the money. It's about what you're going to do with the money and a lot of things you could already be doing, you know. So the greatest salesman on earth, As a Man Thinketh, Go Giver, Four Agreements, and The Alchemist. 5 books that I read annually for self-development. Highly recommend for all of you. Thank you for watching, paying attention. If you have any book recommendations, please send them my way. I love books. I love, of course, self-development. Um, I got a few in the chamber. I'm reading them now. I've read, and yes, I read more than just self development books. I also read for solely entertainment. I like a mystery thriller for entertainment purposes, but I don't like watching thriller. That's crazy. But I'll read it all day. But if you have any book recommendations, especially self development, please send it my way. If I haven't read it, I will put it on my list. All right. I'm still waking up. So y'all bear with me. But that's the Mindset Monday, man. We're gonna do more of an annual thing for the rest of the year because we're coming up on the quarter. We're in the last quarter of the year, and I want us to go into the next year with full intention. We'll talk more about that. So much love to everybody. Hold on, my computer being funny. Did I freeze? I didn't freeze this time. Oh wow. Much love to everybody. I appreciate everything. Appreciate everybody out there paying attention. This is Mindset Monday. As you see, the banner says, start your week off in the right mindset. We're going to start the week off right, man. Let's talk some good stuff. Anything you would like me to discuss, please reach out to me and let me know. Anything, and that could just be a comment. Anything If you would like to be a guest on here, you would like to go live with me, please let me know. And I got you. We can make that happen too. But until then, I'll be seeing you guys, okay? Much love. Peace.